digital media, which is organic as well as uh, paid mediums. So that was a structural basic understanding. However, as the structure of your appearance for the internal assessment is concerned, you have to appear for your internal assessments based on the async content and the video lecture access that you have. And then you enter my this session. So you would have just finished your IA1 and then you are entering this particular session. Uh, so I will try to make this session livelier in a sense that you conceptually get a fundamental understanding very well, so that it is two way. Your understanding will get strengthened as well as you are prepared well for the term and exams. So structurally, today I will get into the subject matter of live session 2, which is consumer behavior, as well as at the end, fag end, I will want to touch base upon IA1 very briefly, and then just give you some understanding about what may be expected in IA3. IA4 and 5, as you know, you will have to really refer to the session plan or the session coverage sheet that you have. IA4 will be based on live session 1 and 2, and then async 2, while IA5 will be live session 3 and 4, and async 3 and 4. So those kind of perspectives are given in that session coverage sheet. So let's begin. Let's begin. My fundamental another area where I wish to seek your cooperation. Uh, any which ways this batch size is small. We work hard, of course, for your understanding. That is a fundamental thing. But then we would like to have a feedback. Now, last time, I think when the feedback session feedback related link was launched by the moderator almost 20 minutes before, I have requested also, but I only got one feedback. Now, I'm not getting into that. What was that one feedback all about? Because one feedback is any which ways essentially not worth considering. So that's a humble request. So let's begin, friends. Uh, I begin with the very powerful quote by none other than Steve Jobs: "Get closer than ever to your customers. So close, in fact, that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves." So that's what, like I as a consumer was using single razor blade, and for me the journey was like from being novice to like start gaining experience of shaving well, etc. But then you still feel that as the day passes by, late noon, evening, you feel your face is still now started, the hair has started coming, and you keep wondering, should there not be something that will make it more smoother so that I don't have to worry till the next day. Now, technically, I am not a qualified consumer, so this is just a wish remain. But Gillette, who probably understands or follows this principle well before they realize themselves, came out with twin razor shaving razor. Okay, twin blade razor. So that's what is the fundamental understanding that I just wanted to impart about this quotation. Today, the live session 2 is focused on consumer behavior. So in this, we will understand entire consumer behavior process, buying process. How does he go about buying? Determinants that shapes up his persona, personality, attitude, etc., internal and external. And then we'll get into how you as a marketing manager can find out all these aspects. So that's where the science and art of marketing research will come in. So we are today on live session 2. So live session 2 is decision making process, individual determinants, external influences. What external stimuli influences the consumer, and understanding how can you understand the behavior. This is what I just told you through market research. So let's begin. What I have for you is certain discussion on the need, that we will do a case video. Maslow's hierarchy, we will try to deep dive. which was also there in your async 2, internal factor move. That is what related one internal factor very important, which is attitude, that we will uh, through a case video discussion, and then research method quanti quali, and then there are a couple of one or two market research examples. Okay, so with that, let's begin. I hope you are with me, right? Yes, no, friends? Some
Yes.
interaction. See, the class means I encourage interactions, and don't be under the influence that you are a novice in marketing. Share what you know. My role is to moderate. So, can I begin? Are you with me, friends?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So now there are pictorially three representative image. The marketeer manager is as vulnerable as a chef. That is a anecdote that this is trying to tell you. Chef does all the preparation, garnishes, even layouts the table dish with decorative aspects and all. But outcome is what? Some consumer will still grumble, while the other customers with the same food may relish. You may have a group of people who enjoyed your ambience, you enjoyed your hospitality and the food. And today they have a loudspeaker with them, that is social media. They can go out. Now they can go out as adversaries if their experience is not good, or advocates, influencers if their experience is very good. So that's what is a corollary, that marketing management is also same as what the chef encounters. Marketing process, in a very nutshell, this one chart tells you about marketing process, what is marketing is all about. Okay, I have studied marketing management way back 95, 97, and till when I came across this chart, I wondered why you couldn't summarize, or why not even Philip Kotler, etc. This is like I then said, thanks to the upgrade team, content development, that they could visualize. Level one, identify opportunities. Now there are three components to that: customer, company, and the competitor. Very briefly, customer need understanding has to be there. First of all, need, and second is their buying behavior. There is a hand raised. Yeah.
So, sir, I just wanted to ask something from the previous slide. So, where exactly does food critique comes in between customer and a consumer?
No, food critique, you will have a two divide. When the experience gets over, you will have a two divide among the consumer. Maybe three. Somebody is a neutral, somebody appreciates your entire experience, and somebody who's not at all happy. I will tell you my recent example. There is nothing personal about this thing,
Mhm.
but had a short vacation. We went to Varanasi and came back, a family. While going, we took Indigo. While coming, I insisted my daughter, okay, why let's come by Vistara either way, whichever ticket you get, because Vistara I wanted to experience, never experienced before. But my so I probably went with a higher expectation, but my experience was far below my even average, industry average. So now I become a adversary. If while about Indigo, I continue to build my higher feeling about it. So it was a flawless experience. So like I became an advocate for them while I'm an adversary. So I hope it answered you, Satya.
Uh,
Right?
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So customer, you have to first two areas where internal assessment has to happen. Need understanding based on which the product development starts, and then buying behavior. How can you lure him? How can you induce him? So for that, you need to know how does he go about buying. On the extreme is the competitor, because they are also parallelly taking stands. They are also parallelly acting upon. So you as a company we'll have to decide which product, what solutions that you can develop and offer, and can there be a sustainability, means this solution will have a longevity, or tomorrow immediately somebody is able to copy it and gives you back, so that you will struggle in the market. So what is your competitive differentiation, and is it sustainable? That's what company has to decide when they develop a product. Now once that is done, you are ready to launch. you are ready to introduce. So at that time, you have to work out the next level, setting the strategy, that is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Okay. And then level three is formulating your marketing program for each segment. For each segment, you will have to have four P's: product, price, place, promotion. If it is a service marketing, seven. Uh, so, like when I say for each segment, suppose a Veena World as a traveling agent company attracts ladies as an exclusive group, adventurist, wellness oriented people. Now, product cannot be same. You cannot ask adventure guy to go to Pondicherry where the wellness is where talked about. So you have to take him to the Everest base camp, Kanchenjunga. So the product, therefore the price has to be different. You have to promote differently. Place may be your Vina World office. Many times place can be combined. So the segmentation and the other thing has to be different. So you have to formulate for each segment. That's where the targeting comes. You might have more than two, three, four segments, but company cannot serve everybody every time. So company will have to decide few segments, targeting strategy. Okay. And accordingly then align the marketing mix to that. So that's about marketing management process. Okay. So now just to give you a quick understanding of this with one live example of a Cadbury, that is what was also covered in Essing. Cadbury right from day one when it was there, it was more kid oriented product. One second, friends. My power of this thing has happened. Sorry. So Cadbury was meant to be for kids in a very initial year. I as a kid also used to run to my uncle because I knew that they will come with the Cadbury. And that was a long 2 3 decades. Then they realized कि why not expand the market. So now the way they could do this is to attract the adult, and that's where in our era this particular campaign came in. कुछ बात है जिंदगी में. In that they are showing the male guy, the boy hits a six, and the this girl walks in jubilantly in the crowd, breaking all the security, this thing, and dances. Today you see this differently, where the girl hits a six and the guy comes in. Essentially, they attracted adult population. Now adults started eating. Now when again that threshold has come, so how do you expand the market? You have to again create a product and a differentiation, which is then they realize that India is a sweet consumption country. Everyone, sometime or the other in a day, wants to consume sweets. Festival, heavy sweet consumption. Can we not get some share of it? That's where कुछ मीठा हो जाए campaign, attracting the sweet lovers. सो आज पहली तारीख है, कुछ मीठा हो जाए, खाने के बाद कुछ मीठा हो जाए, रक्षाबंधन मीठा हो जाए, ईद का त्योहार मीठा हो जाए, दिवाली कुछ मीठा हो जाए. That way they garnered more market share, more consumers attracted, and then they also have occasionally exclusive niche segmentation, niche targeting. This is Cadbury Dairy Silk or Cadbury recently Valentine Days they gone hard pop. In between the Cadbury there is a heart shape. When you just press it lightly, the heart shape Cadbury comes out. This is for your Valentine. So you see that customers are identified, their needs are understood, competition is doing something or the other, competitive activity are evaluated. Nobody has ventured that way. So company realize they will have a long term differentiated advantage. They targeted very well. Targeted. So sweet lover, that was the second phase, adult, the young adult, etc. Positioned very well, and then they introduced product. It was not the kid Cadbury which was consumed by the adult. They were a different thing. My wife still loves that dairy milk, simple dairy milk. But then, okay, I conclude, dil to bacha hai ji. So, okay, that's our kid whole days love, for Cadbury. So that's how, and then they offered the product, price, place, and appropriate promotion that led to their success. Is it clear, friends? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So now we enter into that second part, which was talking about decision making process. Consumer decision making process this is a hierarchy wherein consumer behavior you have to understand, which is a result of marketing process that we just covered, and in that the consumer is the second part. So you have to understand the decision making process. So we will get that, yeah. We will get in. I will explain you this all the stages. Okay. So this is also known as a the buying process. Can you recall the brand of voice command assisted anybody? Brands which cater to voice assisted instruments?
Amazon, Alexa,
Yeah,
Alexa,
right.
Google.
Google Assistant.
Yeah, true, true. I think bang on. So now I will explain you the stages. You see that selection and trial is coming as an ad hoc addition. When we learned it was this five-step process, but today's youth in the digital era or anybody in today have this option. You see Canva, you have a choice of using a free version, you have a choice of using Grammarly as a free version. Grammarly I have used almost for 2 3 years free, and then moved to the pro when I actually started content development in the field of marketing. So you see that selection and trial today, any e-commerce site 14 days return, no question asked. So that's why that step is introduced out there. We start with the need recognition. Like James realizes he needs to automate household work and multitask. Like in my house also, like I in the morning when you are about to chase your office opening and all, wife will say, "Okay, why don't you book the ticket, for our program, or why don't you book our holiday plan, hotel booking?" Daughter will suddenly come out, "Papa, just start the yoga music for me." And and you wonder, I wish either I can log in and do my work, or I can get the ticket done, or how to get up, open the entire audio system, and then start the yoga, this thing for her. Can this not be done some practically? That's where the need starts coming in the mind of the customer. I don't know the solution. Okay. Then comes, I suddenly realize, yes, I have seen in my friend's house this Alexa, how smartly he gives a command. And Alexa has come out with a recent ad where they show the child crying and the father is unable to, and mother from behind just Alexa, play this lorry, and then child goes to sleep. So there are various ways you realize that there is a solution there to my problem. So you will get into information search, information, more and more website, online ranking, rating, comparison. So you will do that. Then comes the time when you have information available. Now you need to evaluate. You have various alternatives at your disposal. You need to evaluate information that you have gathered. Then comes the stage of selection and trial if that opportunity is available. And then finally, at some stage, you have to decide your purchase decision. What will you now buy? Which brand? From where will you buy? So that's what you will have to take that decision. Say, I decide to buy from vijaystores.co.in. And when that gets over, I will recall my entire experience. Okay. How was my entire experience with this particular thing? Okay. And then I may go and write or rank the experience. So that's a gist of this 6 step consumer decision making process. How consumer behave before and after making a purchase. Right? In the bottom, in the yellow text, what you see is the marketing manager's task or the challenge or the tactics that the marketing manager should be aware of, etc. So in the first thing, need recognition. How does consumer go about consumer behavior? We are understanding. Remember, so consumer will first internally realize there are internal triggers which tells him the idea about the need that is evolving within him. Okay, bad breath when I'm entering college is becomes a big problem. Like I then suddenly realized that I need to do something. So that's where close up came in. Okay. So consumer will start feeling internally the need. There may be external triggers, external stimulus, pregnancy determination kit. I do not know, but I saw the advertisement Now some housewife will start thinking before going to gynec, and the moment you go to gynec, the whole world will know. My sasuma will know, and then she will tell 10 people. Why can't I secretly test whether I am pregnant or not? So these are the various external stimuli will make you know what your need is and what's the solution to your need is. Then you will get into the information search, again internal, external. Internal means whatever that you are aware of yourself. You have read an advertisement, you have heard the commercial, you have seen the product somewhere else being used, etc. You will try to recall them and see whether you have sufficient information or not. You may not have. So you will have a parallelly external search launched through website, talking to friends, colleagues, etc., relatives, and try to find out more. So that's what external search you will do. So information search, internal own assessment based on information that you already have or you have already obtained earlier. And external is needed information is searched through all external sources, website, company site, or trade directories, indiamart.com, or like that, or like say just dial, or I will in many other ways I will try to obtain all the information. Then I compare. Then comes the stage of I need to compare to get a bird's eye view. What is right for me? What is good for me? What is appropriate for me? So there, evoke set, inert set, inept set. So just park here. Next slide, I'm showing you what is that completely. Then you get into selection and trial. Again, that's a challenging phase where you have to finally make an evaluation and decision. So there are three types of assessments: compensatory, non-compensatory, affect referral. That also I'm going to touch base upon using the washing machine example, same that was there in the essay. Then you have to take a final decision. The moment we approach final decision phase, we are stumbled upon with the risk that is there in front of us comes out. So how do you handle the risk? And risk and involvement go hand in hand. More the risk, more your involvement will be. You will not be worried about salt and pepper in the soft drink coming into your house, but you will be more worried about which laptop is appropriate for your kids in his college. Okay, or for you, which is a laptop appropriate, which LED you should buy. So their level of involvement depends on the risk. And then finally, this is a marketeer task. Customer will become advocate or adversaries, but marketeer has a three tasks: acquiring, keeping this customer acquired, therefore retention tactics. Second is the third is a lapsation. Some customers who became your brand owner later left you. So all this thing gets covered under CRM. So we will gradually see some of this. Is it clear the 6-step consumer decision making process or a buying process? So far, I will have to still explain you evoke, inert, inept, and the various decision making framework and the risk of failure and level of involvement. So, but basics clear, friends? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now I gave you our example. Coming back here, you have to start evaluating, compare. So at that time, what happens? There is a concept called evoke set, inert set, and inept set. Evoke set is written out there, then I will explain, are the products of which a consumer is aware and which are considered for purchase. So if you ask me mineral water, I will say Aquafina, Bisleri, Kinley. Cut. Hey, there is somebody from Army Wife Welfare Association. I don't know. Okay. This is the name. Then sometime you don't even know many things. So this is what has been listed out here. This is about, say, washing machine. Evoke set could be the moment I take a name of washing machine, Samsung, Whirlpool, LG will come to your mind. Inert is you know that they exist. You know that they also make washing machine. Inert set is a set of brand that the consumer is aware about but have no opinion about due to various reasons. He has not built any opinion, good or bad. So that's an inert. And inept is brand that a buyer is aware of, but considering for purchase not considered because of poorly. He has a poor representation of that brand due to source of information not being available, not appropriate information available. So he is undecided. So he will not be worried about. Many times you don't even know. Okay, so this dream care. Have you heard about this as a washing machine? When I saw this, I didn't myself realize. So these are the ones. So how does this affect? Because I am telling you that alternative evaluation is a stage before purchase decision. Only if your brand is in the evoke set, evoke comes in the mind of the consumer, he will get evaluated. Even inert set brand do not find evaluation. So the challenge of the marketing manager, therefore that arrow is given. Marketing manager biggest challenge is to bring your brand in the evoked set. Every time when the product category is considered, your brand name should come in the mind of the consumers. So then it is evaluated. This brand coming, evoke brand coming in the mind of the consumer is also known in marketing as a consideration set. These are the set of brand which is considered by me for purchasing. So the moment the second and third have no place because you have not come in the alternative evaluation stage. Clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then comes this next level decision making rule. Here, compensatory, non-compensatory affect referral. So I have taken the same screenshot, means the same example which is there in Essing, but I have developed a table. Uh, compensatory rule. You will wonder, does mind function like this? But marketing and psychological marketing guy have established that yes. So compensatory rule. I selected the washing machine that came out best when I balanced the rating for and against. So washing machine. Now I have certain parameter, the speed of cleaning, the tumbler material, steel, plastic, what is it? Okay. The functionality, how many variants do I get for spin? How many variants of water filling? I am very water conscious guy. So what is that functionality features? So I might have these 3 to 5 parameters and I will evaluate them on a scale of 10. Mind, believe me, mind may not, but you put in some weightage against each. Okay. Now you have evaluated and you have chosen the one which a balanced out bad, and you've seen the good side, and then you have decided that this one is right for me because it is weighing more towards the good. It has a more good aspects. So still, suppose a steel tumbler is there. Okay. Various functions are offered, various types of clothes can be dry. Only thing is water consumption control is not in my hand. So this washing machine may waste lot of water, but I went for it because by and large on the other parameter it is good. So that's a compensatory rule. Non-compensatory rule, there are again three alternatives. Conjunctive rule, I selected the washing machine that had no bad feature. Conjecture, I evaluated, even washing machine offered me the level of water selection. Okay. So I selected the washing machine that had no bad features. So some of the other brand which I evaluated did rate it poor. Like say for example, Samsung. Everything was good, but Samsung was not good in the Samsung offered me plastic tumbler. So there was a bad this thing. I wanted a steel. So I didn't go for Samsung. So there is no bad feature. So that's a conjunctive rule. I took a safe bet, conjunctive rule. Disjunctive rule, I selected the washing machine that excelled in at least one of the attribute. When I decided to buy the washing machine, speed of washing was my sole criteria, suppose in my mind, and then this is a washing machine that met that criteria. So I went for it. In somewhere or the other, it might have a plus or minus, but I went for it. This is one attribute on which I chose it. And lexicographic, I looked at the feature that's the most important and picked up the brand ranked highest in that. So among the five parameters that I have listed, I might create a weightage. I might give very high weightage to one parameter, and then I go for the washing machine that scores highest on that. So that's a decision making non-compensatory rule and affect referral, which is based on your past own experience. In my house, we continue to have a national washing machine, though it's not a very popular brand, but machine after machine that we have got, we have a terribly good experience. So past experience or ratings and reviews, you will go to check how people are rating it. Say for example, nowadays protein, I am supposed to consume high protein diet due to some health this thing. MV is a one which I was advised. I started with it, but finding it very, very costly. So I'm trying to find out, is there an alternative? So whenever I see that alternative, I come across alternative, first thing I try to see is the ratings and the reviews given by customers. So that way I may decide one of the alternative brand. So that's the affect referral rule. Clear, friends? Slightly complex. Uh,
Sir, could you
In
explain
compensatory-
compensatory rules? Yeah.
Sorry,
In
come again.
compensatory and effect referral, it's almost similar. Just the difference is the past experiences.
Can you come again, please? There was a bit of a break in the.
Sorry, am I clear now?
Yeah.
I was saying in compensatory and effect referral, there's like both consider ratings and reviews. Just the difference is for past experiences.
No, no. So, okay, in the affect referral ratings and revenue, ratings is what other customers have already given, which is a new age. Today, now you see, you go to Amazon, you go to this thing, you select one particular product, you will see that average score 4.5, 5, whatever, and then people have given reviews. So, referring to that you purchase, that is affect referral. Here in the compensatory, this thing, I will have 3, 5 parameters in my mind, and then I will evaluate each brand against that. That evaluation is on a point of say 10-point rating. I will mentally create a map 10-point rating. So if the steel tumbler is given, I will give 10 out of 10. If plastic is there, I will give 8 points. So that's what that rating, which is your own self assessment based on 10-point scale against each parameter. While affect referral is somebody else's rating and review for the product. Clear?
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So moving on, now you come to a stage of taking decision, and there the in risk appears and your involvement accordingly gets aligned. You face a risk. Which salt, which soft drink is coming in the house, which any is many times that room freshener, what your maid is brought in or your wife is selected, you will be least bothered. There is hardly any risk. If you do not like, you will tell them next time mat lena, don't buy next time. 10 rupees, 20, 30 rupees is a loss. Okay, many times you may say कि इसको फेंक दो अभी का अभी, right now you throw and bring, because it's a risk is very less, so you are not involved also. Say if it's I am a say like wafer lover. So I eat a branded wafer. I have slightly evaluated. I have chosen. My wife also knows, but I'm a variety seeker. So whenever she goes to purchase, if there's a new variety, she calls me up to check. Bit of a more involvement because I am little fussy on the variety. So she tries to just check with me. Likewise for the clothing and all, you are slightly involved, more involved, slightly involved, not maybe too much. So that's where the involvement variation comes in. You are buying a toy for your own kid. Oh, you will think a lot, which age is, what is a mental this thing that I want to be thinking about. But you have to present the toy to your friend's kid. What will be the level of involvement you can think about? Okay. You have to read. You are a reading worm, bookworm. You will be very choosy about, but you have to gift a book to somebody, you will be less involved. Likewise, say you saw your mother suffering every time previous night. She has to prepare things to make a barter. Next day morning, then only you can have a lovely idli. You have gone to your friends, two, three, five friends' house where mother says, "No, I use MTR ready to, mix idli batter." And now you come home and you tell your mommy, start pestering. Mama also now realize after so many years, yeah, if there is a solution, why not try? So she just speaks to your friend's mother and then decides, okay, tomorrow onwards I'll also. And then comes the stage, you want to buy, sorry guys, bit of my mouse problem. You want to buy a digital camera costing 1.5 lakh. Oh God, you will get into Canon website, you will get into Nikon website, and you will get into all specifications. You may even make an Excel. You will consult cameramen, you will consult your friends owning it. So much. Why? Because risk is high. So there is a type of decision making differs based on the risk involved. That is what I am trying to touch base upon. Your risk is proportionate, your involvement is proportionate to the risk that you face. So there are decisions, type of decisions that emerge in consumer behavior. Five different types of decisions are discussed. So towards the low risk and low involvement, there are three types of decision. Routine response, same atta, same salt, same soft drink, a routine response. Okay, that's a routine response behavior. When it comes to Maggi noodles, when it comes to wafer, when it comes to packaged goods, when you are buying a t-shirt or a cloth for me, let's be very careful about variety. So there is a variety seeking behavior. Chewing gum also you may want to know what is the new flavor has come, etc. So there is a variety seeking behavior. Then comes the impulse buying. You come out of the airport and you saw a toy train playing in one of the shop. You loved it. You suddenly realize, oh, this is a good buy for my son's kid, and you pick it up. Impulse buying. So this is on a low risk, low kind of involvement. Okay. Then comes slight, slight involvement, slight consideration is needed. That is limited problem solving. I gave you that atta batter, MTR ready to cook idli batter, where mother is also convinced that what your daughter is telling as a daughter is good, but she needed to just check a bit about your cold cream, about your various, eye care. You probably take a little advice here and there and then decide whether it is right or wrong. And comes the extensive decision making. Flat. So these are the examples. Straight away, I go to example routine response, candy bar, Cadbury, soaps, all soft drinks. It's a routine response. Variety, bubble gums, clothes, noodles, as I told you. Impulse, work of art. Clothes also can be many times. Clothes can be variety seeking. Clothes many times are impulse. You loved it and you bought it. No, toys, novel, home decor. Limited skin care, oral care, ready mix atta, appliances, many times other mixers and all limited problem solving. You just ask two, three housewife, which is good, and extensive flat car, durables, gaming console purchase, laptop. So this is a involvement centric behavior which comes in the purchase decision stage. Purchase decision, risk of failure, level of involvement. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So marketing task. Marketing task. What does marketing? Somebody was asking something. Sorry. So what are the market?
I was just saying that in our async content, skincare was given under extensive decision making. Like there was a question. So are these
Yeah.
examples
So
like
okay. Thank you for asking. So see, this is like you to see in a way as a marketeer, you to determine how does consumer take decision about your this thing. So for cold cream is also skin related thing, but it's a limited this thing ponds or whenever winter comes I just check it out. Okay, but there is a say like men, remember the men facial this thing and all have started coming in. Now when that kind of a product which came in, face wash, men face wash, etc. Now men also should groom themselves. So that's the stage where even I did an extensive, search, discuss with my fellow this thing. And I'm not talking about my today's age because this is like almost like now of 2 decades old. So at that time, like you are in your career mode, you need to look professional, etc. I did an extensive this thing and then decided a call. Took a call. Okay, yes, I will also start using it. Okay. So then it depends on the product to product. As a marketer, you need to be familiar with how consumer decision happens, where, what type of decision in which your product falls in. Because to that, your tasks are aligned. Once you know what is happening, then your task is aligned. If you find your product falls under routine response, then your role as a marketer is to ensure that there is a smooth availability. There should not be break in the availability, wider availability. Cadbury's and all is even available at a Panwala. Okay, lollipops and this thing is available even very widely. So you need to ensure that availability is there and strong distribution channel is supported. Selected distribution, extensive distribution, everything is like in place. Variety seeking is nothing but you have to constantly bring variety, either product line extension or product packaging. SKU has to be different, new flavors, new taste, etc., or new product bundling. So you have to constantly be variety driven. Impulse create a very high end visibility in a right place, right kind of visibility. So then there is an impact. That impact will make people do impulse buying. Limited problem solving, provide a lot of product information, category clarity, okay, ensure availability. So that's what you can ensure as a marketeer so that people on a limited scanning of information comparison can decide about your product. And then comes extensive. You have to see that not only information is available, you have to handhold. Therefore, you see the chat box, they want to handhold you. AI chat box, they want to help you or connect you to the actual executive who will then take over from the chat box and then will give you more detailed information. He will invite you for demonstration. He will take you to the product, show you product demonstration, a lot of things. So that's an extensive decision making. So marketing tasks are aligned to the nature of buying decision along with to where your product is linked. So you as a marketer manager should know where does your product fall when it comes to buying decision by the consumer and accordingly align the backend. Clear? Post purchase, acquisition, retention, lapsation. Acquisition is the some customers are one timer, you have to keep acquiring them again and again. So that's the attention that you require. Some customers are with you. So your choice or your challenge is to retain them. So how do you retain them? So upsell, cross sell, various things, make them membership program, create a loyalty. Lapsation, you realize after some time of association, customers have left you. So that's a post purchase behavior. So how do you handle it? So you must quickly be able to generate database and have a scheme to this one timer who comes and goes. You have to quickly, you have to every time acquire him. So how can you create a bundle of promotion, bundle of a scheme around those kind of things for which you have to have a database also. So his buying behavior database, then you play according to the cards that you have. Retention, you have to now retain this guy. You have to know his period orientation. How this toothpaste are once in a month. Okay. However, scents and perfumes are maybe once in quarter or seasonal thing. When there is a seasonal this thing, only then the customer comes in. So seasonal this thing, or many time a combo offer gives you upgrade like Jet Airways during those times. I have acquired a lot of point. So suddenly they used to surprise me sometime in a flight, sir, you are given a business class upgrade. So my brand, this thing improves. So that's a retention techniques. Lapsation, you lost this customer. So you have to have some win back scheme. How what will bring him back? Study his past pattern, determine where does he stand, and accordingly at the right time offer him some pattern based purchase incentive. Cashbacks are an incentive. If you buy goods worth 5,000, get a cashback worth 5,000 so that he will come back. So those kind of a tactics that you will have to have for lapsation. Clear? This guy have a choice to go to online and create his reviews and advocacy adversaries, but this acquisition, retention, and lapsation is covered by organization today through a program called CRM, Customer Relationship Management. HubSpot, Salesforce.com. They are the CRM company. They offer you customer relationship management platform where customer database is collated, compiled, real-time update is available to the front line. So whenever I call up from my mobile, Airtel, with that guy who picks it up immediately, good afternoon, Mr. Athi, what can I do for you? Same is for my credit card. And then the moment I start narrating my problem, yes, sir, we can see that your current transaction got bounced and you faced a problem. What can I help you with? So I said, I just went and I bought a goods worth 35,000, but why my card bounced? So then he reminded me, sir, you have put in a credit card limit of 30,000. Can I increase this so that you don't face this problem? So that way they immediately can see that. So that's a CRM power. Okay. So I think uh, so far so good, right? Now we enter into the determinants, individual determinants of consumer behavior. Why this changes? Point to ponder. Toaster when came, every housewife latched onto it, but then she soon realized that housewife role is not only to make toast. She gets into cooking, gets into washing, and she realized that by the time she comes back, that burnt toast have burnt. So automatic toaster has come. My apology, friends. Irons. If you by mistake put it, it used to burn. Also, there was a hassle to have some wet cloth or water together. So you keep sprinkling water and then iron it to get that best feel. So came the vapor based, steam based iron. Okay. So all these things to why I'm trying to bring this out is the subject of need and motivation. We have studied essentially what is need last time. State of deprivation of the basic for physical survival, without which your survival is questionable. Food, water, shelter, clothing, reserve the. I physically need water. Then comes the want. I gave you that example last time also that beta comes home and says, I am very hungry, and wife's mother says, okay, I'll make a poha for you. And she says, come on, mother, I've already ordered burger. So that's a desire for a specific satisfier, specific. Likewise, here the example is given. Tap water is also going to help you survive. But I want clean and safe to drink good tasting water. So you see mineral water or the fruit based waters and all have come in. However, this need and want doesn't translate into demand till you have acquisition power and willingness to spend, ability and willingness to buy. So only when an ability is there and a willingness is there, it gets converted to demand. I said I always desired to have Mercedes Benz to commute, but I never could gather required ability. Suppose today I win 7 crores jackpot at KBC. Now I have a ability, but now I will think is Benz is of my class? No, I think I should go for BMW. So demand has become for BMW. Benz no, because till then I had no ability. So there is a connect between need, want, and demand. Briefly, I have covered definitely last time. So the continuum, briefly to explain you, need is very innate. It remains with the customer. Many times we may not realize that is what Steve Jobs told you. You have to go and tell him. Okay, need cannot be influenced because that's a primary thing. Okay, for example, food, shelter, transportation need. Luna also was doing what? Very small two-wheeler, Luna. That is also served. Cycles were serving people's purpose. Okay. Want is a specific satisfier. Need directed towards a specific satisfier. Need for food, want for pizza. Need for transportation, want for car. So that is want. And demand is a want backed up by ability and willingness to pay. So this has to be very clear in your mind. Yes, no, friends? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. So can you just repeat this? Can you just repeat those
One
last?
sec.
Yeah, okay.
Is a need, want, demand continuum. Need, as I told you, is the essence for survival. So it cannot be changed. You can't be told to forget drinking water. You can't change the need. However, when it comes to want, it is a specific satisfier. I gave you that example. Mother is willing to make a poha, but boy says, I have ordered burger. So it's a need for food, want for pizza. One roti and sabji also is enough, but you want to eat pizza. So that's a specific satisfier. Need for transportation, want for car. So that's what. Demand, when it becomes demand, you have a want. I wanted a Merc, but I never had an ability, and therefore it never was a demand for Mercedes. Suppose I got a jackpot, I am 7 crore I won. And now I will question whether Mercedes of my stature, then I go for BMW. So that's a demand for BMW. Merc has not become my demand because I do not have a willingness to buy Merc now. I have an ability. I won 7 crore. Clear? Need, wants, and demands are interrelated. Want is explained as what? Desire for a specific satisfier, state of deprivation of basic satisfaction, ability to satisfy what is required. None of the above. What is right?
Desire for a specific satisfier.
Right. Very good. So now, slightly better understanding of the need we will try to obtain. Need and the ability to convert into right solutions. So the challenge of a marketeer is, after you understand the need, can you develop a solution which is right, just right, and which is differentiated, and you are able to sustain it for long term as your competitive differentiation. If somebody is able to copy it, you are gone. So I'm taking classically the air conditioning. See, air conditioners were there since many decades. There was a set system. The moment you buy an air conditioner, one of the AC mechanic, you have to get in touch. Once in 2 months, 3 months, he comes, he does cleaning, gets the basic check, but leaves the bathroom messy. Okay. He will come at his own will. You may tell him, but he will come at his own will. So unscheduled visit. Many times different people come. You do not know their competency, but you have to allow them to do. Okay. It makes the area messy, as told you. They give commitment, but they forget what they committed. So, what is the solution? Which company? Urban company found a solution, and therefore they came out with the product AC servicing as a service product. Choose the type of AC you have. You have to just log into urban company, AC servicing. Then these are the things you have to select. Choose the type of an AC. Choose the service you need. Repair, installation, normal servicing. What is it? Choose what is appropriate time slots for you. Date and time slot. SL-face service. Our professional will be just right there, duly trained. You can ask him about his training ship, etc., and then allow him to touch. He will not make area messy. He will clean everything. Their competence, committed time of delivery, all solutions bundled into one service product. AC servicing from urban company. So that's the art of developing the product. This is an urban company film. I will not run full. There are three co-founders talking. The second one, who's explaining how they evolved after number of rounds. The film has started, it is buffering.
We are here today with
It
not
has
one,
started.
not two, with the three co-founders
Can you
of
hear?
Evoke Lab, Abhiraj Singh Bhal, Varun
Yes.
Khaitan, and Raghav Chandra.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
hear them take us through the
Some yes or no? So
last 5 years journey and what is the way forward. To begin with,
Voice
Varun,
is low
how
actually.
did the entire idea of Urban Club come together?
This was early 2014, then when me and Abhiraj were both in Delhi. I had just moved back from the US because
oh sorry, I went to see the chat.
both of us had decided to leave our then jobs at Boston Consulting Group and start a company together. Um, and at
So
that time, we started
essentially they
in the idea
started
of
as a music streaming. Like today you have
movie
Spotify,
streaming
but
when
they
we were
soon
trying
realized that
to
they will fail
launch buses
soon.
and trains in India. So we
Then they
lost our
introduced
job
what
and
you
did that
call
for a couple of
online
months.
yellow pages. But that also, while
And
everyone was talking about
and
yellow
it
pages
didn't
and
quite
this
work out.
era
We
has
shut it
come,
down a couple
etc.,
of
they
months.
realized that this is not going to work.
But it made us realize
And
that
then they
option
realized that they
is
will
first
do
company in India that
not
we can
just tell
serve,
customer, okay,
and
but these are the 10 guys
this is
who can service
people
you.
who buy services very
I'm
very
just
easily.
jumping
We created a
because I
company.
want to just
What was the
make you
vision like
listen to
5 years
this
back and has it
guy.
changed over time?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, listen to him.
really initial days it was, as Arun said, more about what kind of a company you want to be at. We used to have a lot of brainstorming around all kinds of spaces, right from leather products to really really high tech fin solution, and then like urban clap in the middle. Uh, and rolling back to the first year when we started off, we wanted to build a marketplace where and we were very specific about broadly services, and at that point I think we started off with 10 services in our first iteration itself, and this spanned the whole world of what we thought services meant then. Right, it had yoga instructors, wedding planners, plumbers, beauticians, and then at that point actually we had a lead gen model. We had a very lightweight model where people would just sign up, create their account. We would introduce people to a few. A customer would come in. We would introduce them to 4 or 5 professionals, and the world would be happy. But since then, I think we've come a long way. Very quickly, we realized, it's not just simply putting up a website and adding both sides onto a database. Experience matters a lot, right? And we got this learning fairly early on in our journeys. So we went from a pure lead gen marketplace to saying, hey, can we actually book a professional for a particular time? And from that point, we said, hey, now the professional is going to come. How do we improve the quality for a beautician who's coming into someone's house? How can they deliver the best experience, right? Better than the offline salon experience which someone has to live with, right? How do we make sure the products which are available for the beautician or for the plumber or for the AC technician is at par or better than the offline experience, right? So I think that vision has changed quite drastically for us. Today, in fact, we 100% of professionals living through Urban Clap, and these professionals are professionals who would be probably at a 20,000 rupees salary point in the offline sector, working really hard. 80%, 70% of what they actually generate goes to the business. But on Urban Clap, because those layers don't exist, it's direct business to the professionals. We partner together. We're able to do a lot more. We're able to accomplish a lot more. So the vision for us now is to scale this. We have about 20,000 professionals in the next 3 to 5 years, scale this to about 1 million professionals across India in the categories we operate in, and do it where customer experience, which we deliver, matters the most.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Raghav.
So you see,
So if you look back in the olden days,
so how soon they start. See, it seems like they were successful. They still had a 2 failures, but they managed because they constantly were having their eyes on the customer need. So after the music streaming system, they soon realized, okay, why this is going to be a too clutter a market. The yellow page also, while everybody was investing in yellow page, they soon realized they themselves introduced, but they realized that this is not going to last long. So that's where this thought of bringing professionals, giving a professional one end the professional an opportunity, avenue to come out of the job mindset and create their own professional way to earn more. And this side they said we will give a very professional touch, we will train them, we will offer them a good product, etc., So when they go to the customer house, they offer a service experience which is even better than the offline. And that's how the urban company, the current model, they come out and now they are growing leaps and bounds. So it's connecting need and the solution, and they are undifferentiated as of now. So you see the sustenance is also there. Any query on that?
No, no,
No?
sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are two kinds of need recognition triggers. Wow Momos started giving small pieces of for tasting purpose. Okay, there is a wow Momos you will sure. Till then, customers not aware about. Now wants to try it sometimes. So customers earlier Momos was like nobody knew. Wow Momo is the one who started this revolution where they were offering you mini momos when you are at a mall, wherever they are. So that from what is started as a mere tasting created a carving for having it, sometime. Such need recognition trigger is identified as what? Internal trigger, external trigger, experiential trigger, cognition trigger.
Experiential.
First again, external. There are two only triggers. Internal triggers, external triggers. This is an
Okay, so these
external
two.
trigger.
Okay, okay.
Okay, MCQ are risky that way,
Sir, your MCQ.
right? So I purposely inserted that experiential trigger.
Sir, but what does this? I mean, experience comes under which trigger? Internal or external?
External, external.
External. Okay.
Momo is offered to you, na? When you go out, you were moving in the mall, somebody approaches you, here, sir, we are from War Momos, and would like you to just taste this free of cost.
Uh-huh.
Okay, no commercial strings attached, and you go and do it. And likewise, today you are getting this free trial, Canva or
Mhm.
Grammarly. It's like an external trigger. Once you start, then you realize because that's an offer is there, external trigger.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So now we get into determinants. So we have finished everything on that understanding the behavior part. Individual determinants. So there are factors which impact your consumers. You have understood how consumer go about buying. So we have understood consumer buying behavior and then aspects of need, want, and demand. Okay. Now we understand how consumer himself gets influenced. So there are two influences: individual determinants and external factors. Individual have three sub areas: need, goals, and motivation. Second is perception. Third is attitude and learning. So we'll be covering this. Okay. What I suggest, we will take a maybe 6 minutes break. Though you may find me a little weird, but this is an experiential. So about it's 20:04 in my watch. Before I start new this thing, I thought, and we'll be back at 20:10. Okay, friends. Just a natural bio break or whatever you call small break.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome back, friends. I hope you have joined me.
Yes.
Starting where we left, idea is we are trying to understand individual determinants and then the three components: need, goals, and motivation. They are together: perception and attitudes and learning. Need and want, I have given you the clarification, just repeating that same slides. You are staying in a hut and you therefore always wanted to have one chawl, one room in the chawl. You got that, so you will then look for having at least 1 BHK flat. When you get that, you really think of multiple houses or row houses or holiday home, etc. So the learning is need does not change. That is what earlier also I told you. Want may change over a time. So Maruti example, Maruti, they never had a car for senior executive and above. So I who started with Maruti 800, now when I became general manager, say marketing, none of their cars appealed. Okay, so you shift the brand. That's where their Nexa strategy, then they came much later and they are still paying the price for that. But that's what want may change over time. Okay, so there is a laddering. So what is this laddering that one need to really understand? So this is what let me move out of the chawl. I need secure my future. Once I have a house, people will accept me, be with me, like me. Those are the feelings that you come. Looking at my progress, I'll be able to live with my head held high. Okay. And that what not I have achieved. That's a feeling you get when you achieve everything. What not I have achieved. I should pay back. Now this is you will probably accept this is any common man who moves various phases in his life may be thinking about. This is what is laddering of need and want. Want keeps changing at every ladder. Okay. So now to give you, this is a base to introduce you what you call Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Earlier, many people, many psychologists have come. There is a framework of 44, 55, 52 attributes, etc. But they were all thrown it as a loose, approaches. Nobody could see the hierarchy of needs. Maslow is the one who could establish that need change, want change as per the hierarchy that you achieve. So there is a relationship between the need and relativeness of the want, every hierarchy in the life of an individual. So that's where he introduced this concept called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I will tell you, when you are a struggler, poor man, or you are clerical staff or whatever you say, you will, or not even that, you do not have a, say, permanent income. I am going to that stage. Now, in that case, your everyday struggle is to ensure that you get your basic essentials meet. You can have some two-time basic food. You have a basic, shelter. You have reasonably good water. You can breathe and basic food, clothing, etc. You will be satisfied. And then every day that will be a churn, and the next day morning brings another challenge. You will try to struggle with that. So you are at a physiological need. You are trying to satisfy whatever is needed to remain survived, to sustain the life challenges. So you will have all your wants surrounding that. You will not be thinking of a car, or you will not even think of anything of an higher order this thing, because you are at a physiological stage of your need hierarchy. Suppose somebody comes and tells you, I have found you very, very obedient. I have seen you like every day you do good cleaning, etc. Why don't you come to my shop? I will give you fixed salary. I will give you one time food, lunch on my account. You will get twice a tea and small snacks in the evening. Why don't you come and take home a fixed salary? So now what has happened? You have taken care of your physiological need because there is a safety that has come in. You are started getting one fixed income, but that brings another challenge to it. Okay, you will have to work to retain that employment. So you will work hard, extra hours. Okay, Now you need a personal security. What happens to me? What will be my family will face if anything happens to me? Okay. So I think of insurance. I think of having a bank account where I deposit my savings, where I then convert additional savings into fixed deposit. So I get more. So you will start thinking in those areas. You will want to secure various things. So that's where the safety needs comes in. Okay. So one is to understand which state your customer's hierarchy of need is. He's in which state? He's struggler, he's stable. So then safety needs can be approached. So product solutions around that can be approached. Till that time, you will not listen to your insurance claim. Where every day is a struggle. Where you are talking about insuring me. Whether I leave today or not leave, it is equally same for my family. They also work hard because every day we have to fend for ourselves. But when I got a fixed income, then the question of safety comes. Now, when you reach that, then you need love and belonging. I wish I have a better house so I can call my friends, relatives to come to my house. Right? I can go out with my friends. Now I'm secured. My job is secured, etc. I often take weekend means theater and then go out and have bhel pani puri on the beach or whatever outside food. That's a weekend ritual because my kid wants it. They need freedom. My wife wants freedom from household chores. So all that you do to acquire what? Love and belonging. So is there anything around that you can offer that as a product and solution? Then comes you have become general manager, vice president, general manager. So now your self-esteem is very powerful. You seek respect, stature, recognition. I have completed LinkedIn course. I will publish. Okay. I have received the best employee award. I have published. Okay. I have changed my job and I am elevated. I will publish because self-esteem, esteem. You are in that state where your respect, your self-esteem, your recognition, stature matters to you. So you will crave for things which will help you to demonstrate that. So I realized Maruti has no car now. So I will look for another brand and I went in for SUV, or I can show to the world that I have achieved something. People will recognize me. I am a hardworking, successful professional. Okay. So those are the stage. Then comes the self-actualization. I will realize what have I not achieved. I have learned so much. I have gained experience. So like that. So for today, people like me, I'm not boasting about myself, but 37 years of marketing experience. I can I can interact and explain things better. So why not help today's students and startup enterprise to know the challenges of marketing? What I have achieved, now I have to give it back. So is there anything that I can do? So this is a hierarchy of need. Is it clear, friends? So what will happen? People go from one level to the other. The question generally comes in wherein they give you a scenario where they say, "Ki bhai, the guy is at a struggling phase, and then he's become finally so and so." Represent Maslow's hierarchy of need in conjunction with that, or they give you a product that he's owning a car. Now he's growing in his stature. Okay, explain his car preferences linked to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So you will have to say that physiological stage he will not think even moped is okay, even cycle is okay. But when he's assured of the job, secured, he thinks of buying Maruti 800. He takes them often out, but he finds it non-comfortable. So Maruti Alto or Desires moves to sedan where family relatives he can take them place to place. Now he's arrived. So that Maruti doesn't satisfy. So he went to another brand. He bought SUV, etc. And then he got into a stage where he afford to have Mercedes, Lexus, whatever this thing, and he wants to give it back. So he may have a additional car which can be used by people. Yeah, he will probably create a organization or a CSR fund he will create where he will help people. So that way. Is it clear, friends? We are slightly running behind, but so much so to it. Now there is a theory of perception. Can you tell me what is the first picture telling you? First picture. What is visible to you?
Facing each other, two people facing each other,
Anybody else?
or yeah,
I see a flower vase.
yeah, flower vase is also
Flower.
another perspective.
Okay. Now what about the next picture?
It's a silhouette of a woman.
I
A
see a
man
sexa.
with the saxophone.
Saxophone.
I see a saxophone playing guy.
I
Yeah.
see a man with a big nose and
So I'm coming to that. Perception is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of a beholder. Likewise, perception matters among consumer. You can't say "Okay, that people perceive me like this." It is important how you are perceived by your customer. So perception plays a very important role in marketing. Marketing, right from the launch phase to even sustaining and long term, has to constantly think about perception. That perception has to align with the positioning, and therefore sustenance comes. So how do you develop a right perception? Important is a right perception. Okay. So these are the four ways one go about sensation and exposure. So when you are coming it, you sensationalize. Katrina Kaif has introduced, oh, sorry, Karina Kapoor introduces pregnancy determination kit, sensation and exposure. For me, the most sensational thing, I was into my teenage, having girlfriends, etc. And we were going out during Navratris and all. We started hearing a lot about Navratri led MTP, pre-termination of pregnancy, etc. All those was a era, and suddenly one fine day the TV commercial comes in the night when we are watching a program where mother comes out. Yeah, did you take any protection? Did you take eye pill? So now that was so well accepted. That was an era of that, but they created that sensation. They brought mother into a exposure that as a mother you are supposed to play a role of a mentor, not like beat around and turn around more, may make a ruckus and chaos. So that's how the pill got accepted. So that's a sensation and exposure that got the attention of the right target audience. So when you create right sensation and exposure, right target audience attention you will find. And how you represent this, that is important. So that because person will interpret you, and that interpretation, and later you have to constantly make things to retain him. His perception about you should remain same over a period, or you want him to change perception from X to perception Y. Therefore, you have to do that activity and ensure that he retains a favorable perception about your brand. That's a challenge that a marketer face. Start with the sensation and exposure, bring out rightly so that they capture what you are saying. So it should not be like somebody sees a flower vase and somebody sees two faces. It should not be like that. You are able to bang on, set the tone for the right perception building that will lead to then create an attention, frequently come before them. So create an attention, allow the interpretation, right interpretation, and then work always to retain it. So that's what Prega News. Sensory stimulus to be in tandem with the product you are offering. So your sensation and exposure should link with the product. Then attention you will do through advertising, promotion, using media, mass media, social media, whatever. That's where the attention comes. Interpretation. Both must clearly bring a positive connect between your message, their past experience based on which they may be having a need or they were looking for some problem solution. That will derive a right interpretation. This is a solution I was looking for. Okay. And then retain. So retain through advertising, retain through various other ways, exchange program, engagement program, etc. So repeated exposure helps you to retain. Clear? So the example of self-perception. So once this is clear, there are types of perception. Every marketeer has to face these three perceptions. Okay. And he should know exactly how to anchor, what to anchor with his customer. Should he anchor on self-perception? Whether your product is looked upon more from the self-perception point of view. How does the consumer see himself? If I wear Lacoste or Chirag Din, where will my impression be better? So your product is in a class. If a Raymond shooting setting is better or a Cambridge, okay, or some international brand. So that's the products are of those nature, then they will have to drive for the self-perception. How does the consumer see self? Inherent desire for minimum or no dissonance between his behavior and belief. What he consumes should not lead to contradiction about himself in the eyes of the other people. So if the products are of that nature, then you are in the state of self-perception. You have to always see that consumer self-perception is aligned with what others look at him. And therefore, your brand has to play a very vital role to constantly make him believe that your brand is the right solution for him. If he has to show stature, he has to show that he has a choice for dressing, etc., then your brand is the right brand. Price perception. Does your product get into a category where price determines the quality? So there are many products. We go by simply price. Customers judge quality based on the price. If you are getting a two product, somebody says that this is available to you in 50 and somebody says same looking 75, you will feel 75 वाले में कुछ तो अच्छा रहेगा. So that's what price is not judged in isolation. Price are never judged in isolation. That you have to remember when you are developing a price oriented perception. So you have to develop a perception of a value. That value pricing, remember, is a strategy that you know is around this price perception. You have to give that value to customers so that he is willing to pay you more. So that's a price perception. And then perception of benefit. What am I getting? So if your products are of a nature where customers have to be told what is that he gets in, then it's a benefit driven perception. You have to give constantly customer something to know that he gains this way. He gets this additional benefit. So to explain you, I have put in three example. Chirag Din, you will probably know a very, very exclusive brand of t-shirts, Kolaba Causeway. Right from foundation day, they are there. You will not find them on online and those kind of things. It's a exclusive, brand. Now suddenly, suppose if I come around an advertisement declaring a discount, then I will question myself whether my belief about Chirag Din was right. How come they are available now in discount? Has anything gone wrong with them? So that's what I am determining the price and the quality association. Or my self-perception was Chirag Din is an exclusive brand. Only few can afford. Now, if they are available and a discount, then my self-image is at a stake. So I will move away from Chirag Din. Okay. iPhone is costly, but we often have found people saying, so what? Value for money. As the price perception is so high, people are willing to pay. For daily office use, I use Cambridge shirt, but for a party, exclusive branded shirts I will buy or t-shirts I will buy. So that's what the game of perception. I hope you got that right, friends. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Process of then comes the third one, which was attitude and learning. So the learning part we will first finish, then we enter attitude. Learning is what? Learning is acquiring new knowledge so that you are able to associate. And in your marketing, you have to associate with the brand. Gillette is a technology savvy company. So my choice about razors are not bad. it is absolutely right for me to pay more to Gillette. They have a very, very thin edge razor, shaving it so well. Every time I do, I believe it. Learning, because I've learned what they do, what technology, what coating they do, whatever they publish information, I have read and I have acquired my knowledge. Okay. When you provide information, consumer receives the information. He receives the information to comprehend. He comprehends it. He wants to make a meaning out of it, whatever you share with him. Now, when you share information, conclusion is in the hand of the customer still. So right from day one, when the McDonald's have come and they're fried, this thing, finger chips. Initially, I have enjoyed, but then suddenly I started suspecting that kuch to gadbad hai. Everywhere and nobody at home also you can't make. So I suspected they must be adding something which is unhealthy. That news caught up also in the initial days. Okay. And they have to declare that they do not use any animal fat. But even today, I am not convinced. So conclusion is in my hand. I have learned, they've declared they don't use animal fat, but I feel something is wrong in the oil they use. Therefore, their finger chips are like that. I should not eat. So conclusion is in my hand. So the response depends on the conclusion I make out of the learning. So after I get a learning which is information based, I may remain neutral. I may change my perception favorably, or I may go negative. In my case, I was negative and I remained negative. Okay, that is about the McDonald's finger chips. Favorable conclusion means you will have a favorable association and therefore the brand will give. Adverse means brand will lose. Favorable perception or this thing has to be constantly reinforced. You have to constantly feed him so that he maintains that feeling about you, about the brand. So that's a learning part. Marketer has to know these fundas of learning very well. Oh God, this answer has also come. Once the consumers have gathered the required information, they would be required to evaluate all alternatives based on the attributes looked up by the customer information available. Three different types of brand sets emerge. If your brand is rejected brand set, it is considered as reject set. ठीक है. So inept set actually. That's so sorry. Okay, I want to come here. I just saved bit of a time. This is important. Attitude, second part. If I go here, I am teaching you this. Let me do that. You may wonder, but we have covered need, goal, motivation, perception, and attitude and learning. Learning also covered. I am teaching you attitude as an internal influence. So move as an ointment, you are aware, right? I think most of your house will have. In 86, it was introduced. At that time, it was hitting against Iodex as a common pain relief ointment. And they also got accepted because it was smudge free. Iodex was that brownish color. If you apply and suddenly if your cloth gets touched to it, it will acquire that color. So it smudges and all were a problem. But in terms of solution, it was by far the best. So consumer kept using it for decades. But Move when came in, it was white ointment, smudge free. So that caught on. Okay, they really made a difference to their own life and the brand really moved on and they really achieved a remarkable success, so much so that Iodex market share started plummeting in Aptia. Now Triton want to not sit ideally at that stage. Okay, they know that their initial success is all right, but Moo wanted to really be different. Therefore, they floated a challenge in the market. Triton was an advertising agency which got that work. How did Triton differentiated themselves? So Triton, before pitching to the company, did a survey and they found 80% of all body aches are applicable to the back and women are the majorly affected people. So what they said is, from a common pain relieving ointment to You have to move it closer to women's most teething trouble, which is back pain. And then came that idea, aha se aha tak. So that's a narrative. I'll show you the video. After several brainstorming session, they decide to move reposition from a all-purpose cream to only backache specialist. Aha se aha tak. So is that film? I'll show you. Just waiting for it to activate. Have a close look.
आपका चश्मा। हाय आज पिज्जा ओके? ओह हाँ भाभी आज प्लीज मुझे मेहंदी लगा देना।
हाय
चाय लाती हूँ।
और रमा गर्मा गर्म पकौड़े
अभी लाई। चाय मुझे भी चाय दे ही दो। मेहंदी हाँ लगाती हूँ। ये रहे पकौड़े, ये रहा पिज्जा और ये माँ जी की चाय। मेरी कमर सवेरे से सब्जियां सूख रही हैं, उनका भी कुछ करो।
बहुत हो गया, सुबह से सब ऑर्डर ही दिए जा रहे हैं, किसी ने रमा की आह भी सुनी?
जब रिश्तों की और मूव की गर्माहट छू जाए तो कोई दर्द कहाँ टिक पाए।
जब रिश्तों और मुंह की गर्माहट छू जाए तो see how they created or shifted the attitude. When I saw this ad, I asked, "Hey, which ointment do you use for your backache?" "Oh, you continue to use that old one?" No. Next day only I bought more. So you see that attitude changes happened with me. So key understanding that we am trying to drive home. So attitude can be influenced. Attitude is never a same thing. Attitude can be influenced. It's like another example. During COVID, Dettol introduced laundry washing machine additive, okay, which is antiseptic laundry additive. That was a COVID time. We started using it to be on a precaution, but we still use it. Wife says, nahi, it is a good thing to have. So you see, attitude needs to be influenced. Marketers challenge. They understood common pain relief means you are fighting a battle with many Me Too points. So you have to be a backache specialist. And then they brought in a very good storyline to connect. आह से आह तक. किसी ने रमा की आहट सुनी. So that's what. And they didn't stop at that. Look at the beauty. They didn't stop at that. Okay. I think I'll go for the keyboard only. They later followed with the chain ki garmaat. They again, when they did the survey, they found out customers were openly saying, "अरे लगता है कुछ गरम अंदर जा रहा है, ना उसको soothe करता है." Like something warm, when you apply mousse, something warm you feel going inside and soothing your nerves. So chain ki garmahat. That's what their next campaign to sustain that, reinforce the learning and attitude, this thing. However, there may be few households who have still not adopted moo. So now that was a final salvo. Okay. आपके घर में कौन रहता है? कमर दर्द या मुंह? I am sure you are able to recall that. So now they brought in this punchline. Who stays in your house? Either only backache can stay or moo can stay. Both cannot stay together. So many households who were not using moo started asking themselves. And moo was further brought in. So that's a power. They played once with them. They were not successful. अपनों के लिए moo करो. So PV Sidhu, and that our badminton star, was known to be very close to mother. Okay, and mother, I think there was a news suffers from various, joint pains and all. So they brought her in. अपनों के लिए moo करो. So if somebody close to you is in pain, you take the initiative to buy moo. You, not them. You. Okay, this I think probably didn't catch up well. But by that time, achieved majority stake. So they can afford to play it down, bring another. So attitude is that one need to really be aware of. What aspect of memory did Moore count on? It's an attitude part. They influence consumer attitude, change their existing attitude of using all common pain relieving ointment to backache specialist. That's the change they brought. In their pursuit to develop the perception, once a marketer, I think you need to just allow me to slip because slightly I'm going. My worry is market research part. I will external customer influence. Okay. So how externally? What are those external stimulus which is impacting you as a consumer, which may impact your consumers' buying behavior? We are all studying consumer buying behavior. So that's what culture, socio-economic class, and reference group. These three things we will study. So these are those external determinants. Culture is what? Learned belief. शिवरात्रि है, आप सबको एक्चुअली शिवरात्रि की शुभकामनाएं. शिवरात्रि है तो कल्चर है कि भाई शिव जी की पूजा करे, उपवास करे. So that's a learned belief, the values that your culture teaches you. Customs you will follow as per the culture, and your culture also shapes up your attitude. Punjabis are known to be aggressive, fighter-like. Gujaratis are very business-minded. So it's a culture. So that's what. Using that, HDFC has almost more than 3 decades back developed this punchline for their pension scheme. Sir, utha ke jiyo. That time the advertisement went something like this: from the train comes in, father is trying to come out of the coach and step onto the station, and son, shows his end. Father doesn't take his support. He comes down on the station on his own. Sir, utha ke jiyo. So that's what culture. India mein wo belief hai कि senior, why should senior beg to the junior son and all? He should be on his own. So that's what. So subculture is a part of it. Family and a social status means we are a part of the family. Family takes care of our well-being. Family has shaped up our emotion. Okay. Lifestyle of a family member influences your lifestyle. So family and a social status. You are what you are, where you belong to, that area, vicinity. Okay, where you belong to. So that's what is a social this thing. Right? So that's a social influence. Within the family, there are people, somebody are the influencers. So I gave you earlier example of that ready-to-eat atta. Daughter is an influencer. She is pestering mother. Mama, you should change. Now your habit of making batter the previous night, struggling so much. She's an influencer. Somebody will be the gatekeeper who decides which information should come in, which information should not. Okay. Decider. Somebody will decide. Mother and daughter is convinced, but father's opinion matters. Okay. Buyer. Somebody may be the buyer. Actual consumer may be different. Say for every teenage daughter, her personal hygiene products are generally purchased by mother. But she may be telling her mother, buy this brand or buy this product. So buyer is somebody else, but the consumer is somebody else. Decider is somebody else. So likewise, there are users. So actual consumers may be different. For kids, why, young teenage girl, kids, 8 to 10 years, mother decide, father decide, which is a game that should now introduce to him. So that's what buyer is somebody, user is somebody. Disposer, who disposes of, and also these are those role a family member play. All this influences your buying behavior. So that's what point is to be remembered. And then we will study the reference group, but that's a later. So first, under the family, there is a matrix. That is what I am introducing you. There is a matrix, which is socio-economic classes, SEC, socio-economic classification. If you Google something like SEC, you will get this socio-economic classification. This is India-centric classification where they have created 4 societal classification, right from lower class to working class, middle class, and upper class. Now you see two columns. One is their lifestyle orientation, and from that lifestyle orientation, what marketeers should learn about their purchase tendencies. So I'll take one simple one, lower class. Neighborhood oriented, want immediate gratification. So lower strata, very, very daily wage laborers and those kind of thing, they are labor oriented. You go to the Asia's largest slum, Dharavi, or if you are into similar such poor area within your locality, you can see in your city, they will use what the others are using. So they are very neighborhood oriented, and then they seek instant gratification. Whatever they buy, consume, they need to be recognized for that immediately. So what is the marketeer role of purchase tendency? Product enhancing self-esteem and value among the neighbor. So they want to show that I am using something little costly than you. So simple thing but matters to them. Working class, they want to enjoy life, okay, but they are unsophisticated and they focus on their position and not ideas. They are more oriented towards position. So always introduce varieties, newest applications. So one has to see this SEC classification, which is a part of external stimulus, okay, linked to the family that drives consumer buying behavior. Marketeer should be aware of this purchasing tendency of each social class. Clear, friends? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to jump too much, so I am therefore checking. Now, see how this SEC classification translates into the marketing opportunity. That is what I have. This is a beautiful slide that I have picked up. You see that for each of the product category, there are three class of brand which has been shown: mass, premium, and luxury. Pens and stationery, Nataraj, Lexi, 5 रुपए का बॉल पेन, Renault, same 5 रुपया. Premium, Cross, Parker, and high-end luxury, Mont Blanc, wood finish, 25,000 rupees pen. One of the company where we were working, we were thinking of buying this as a gift to the senior influencers. So that's what. Look at the office bag, sky bags, and they are routine. You get free with the Dell, or the Dell guy says, "Ke bhai, just additional pay 1,000 and you get this, blah blah." They are all fall under mass. Then you have white sign or Levi, or then you have a Boss or a Mont Blanc. So likewise, for everything, there is a mass appeal brands, there is a premium brands, and there is a luxury brands. So what does it convey vis-a-vis SEC? So in SEC classification, socio-economic classification, these are the four classification. Mass will be suitable for lower class and maybe working class. Premium may be suitable for middle class, and then luxury for the upper class. Mutually exclusive position. This lower class guy may not even know that there is a Monte Blanc pen wood finish costing 25,000. He may not even know because communication has never reached him. That brand uses a different communication channel. So that's the power of SEC classification, external stimuli. Clear? Yes, no, friends?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now we enter the fourth external this thing, which is a reference group. We are influenced by people around us. It may be family that I've already covered, friends, class of people, society. I think one of the very powerful you are what you are depends on with whom you sit through. And so that's what is like. आप किसके साथ उठक बैठक करते हो वैसे आप बन जाओगे. So that's what is a like very strong connect to what you call a reference group. We constantly refer ourselves with the others and try to adopt to that things which we think we should absorb. That's where the concept of reference group has come in the marketing management. There are four types of reference group marketer should be aware of. Contractual or membership. You share same ideas, belief and lifestyle, belongingness. There is a sense of belongingness. Laughter club. or marathon runner club association. Membership is not, I'm talking about paid membership, etc. It is like you feel one among them. So that's what contractual or a membership reference group. So once you join them, a lot of influence come onto you. They tell you, you ask them, what do you do for your say well-being or for your knee pain, for your backache, and that's how you get influenced. So that's a contractual or membership. Second is aspirational, the group you wish to be a part of. Therefore, they many philosophers and they've said, कि भाई, always refer to read about successful people. Aspiration, build your aspiration. Dhoni was a strong aspiration. Virat Kohli is today's aspiration. Though the aspirations today is more like a hero, heroines, etc. The group that you wish to be, aspire and be one of them. The successful startup. I'll also be a successful startup like him one day. That's what is driving the startup ecosystem. Oh, they became 1 million in 3 years. I will be also 1 million in 2 years. So that drives you aspirational. Disclaimer, you would wish to avoid the group. You will wish to avoid the group. Between third and fourth, you have to be little careful. Disclaimer. However, this time I have not asked you MCQs, all are DQ questions. Otherwise, there is a tricky thing. You wish to avoid. I am a non-drinker. I am a non-vegetarian. So right from beginning of my college life and even professionals, etc., the moment group decides to meet and plan their weekend, etc., I will want to stay away. Because I know invariably they are going to go to non-veg restaurant, invariably they are going to drink. So I tell them, friends, please apologize. I will not be able to join them. I am just keeping distance with that group. They are disclaimant group. Okay. There is no other thing. It has to do with more with me. My limitation, my choices doesn't allow me to be part of that group. That is a disclaimant group. But then what is avoidance or disassociative group? Slight difference vis-a-vis disclaimant. So the example given in your this thing only I will take. Say like you enter a medical college and you face lot of severe ragging from a group of people for a year or two, kind of. Okay. Now you notice they wear Levi's jeans. Okay. Or they drink this beer. Okay. I'm just extending the example. Suddenly, after 9 months of your this thing, your mama calls up. I'm coming to your town, so I will bring one Levi's jeans. Just tell me your size of the waist, and you will shout, "Mama, buy anything, but don't buy Levi's for me. Where you buy Levi's, I will throw it." The reason being, you wanted to not only disclaim. It is not disclaiming. It is like you want to totally avoid it. Something that you don't want any association with because of that ragging by those guys whom you have seen them using Levi's brand of jeans. You never want Levi's in your life. That is an avoidance or disassociative. Or they were drinking this beer. If at all I start drinking beer in future, I will never drink that. So here what happens, the brand suffers also. And it is due to external reason that you stay away from that brand. That is an avoidance or disassociative group. Clear? So some example, I'll not actually play the film, but I will discuss this. This is about Revital. Salman Khan promoting Revital capsule, vitalizer essentially. Okay. Is he influencing it? Why? So yes, Salman Khan is influencing it because he is clearly telling you, I am what I am today because of this. So I recommend you this. So he is telling you indirectly that my body stamina built up is thanks to Revital. You are in your life such a crucial stage where you need energy, enthusiasm. Without vigor, it will not come. Use this Revital. What makes you believe? Salman Khan is saying. Physique, persona, stamina. So you feel whatever he's saying must be true. Okay. Who really gets influence? So the one who will in that age group, there the age group matters. Now today when I see Salman Khan ad, I am not connected at all because now you pass that age. This is for that mid-age people, life strugglers, who have need lot of vigor and lot of energy. So that why others are not getting, because it is irrelevant. So in the reference group, the relevance matters. Okay. There is a reference group. Which reference group? Which reference group out of the four? Friends? Come on, yeah. You start. Aspirational. I have used that word. This is that mother and son. They come from outside, and then the son is promoting the nostril cleaner, daily nasal wash. So many germs outside. So are they influencing? Yes, they are influencing by bringing the slice of life. Yeah, prior to that, they are showing they are coming from that polluted automobiles smoke, kind of from there they are passing by and they are entering home. So they are saying yes, and then they are saying that, have you ever thought about this? So that's why. What makes you believe? Because the real life scenario, slice of life. Okay. Who will get influenced? Who fear about such things? So this is a which group? Anybody?
Contractual membership.
Membership. Yeah.
हाथ के साथ नाक
I'm purposely just asked. Shave and crave. Nowadays, you found among the youth the habit of having a beard like Virat Kohli or I think Anuka, who's that hero, etc. So what has happened? Nestle's sale has got impacted. So they launched Malaika, who's wearing this T-shirt. If I found you clean shaven, okay, you will have a date with me. Women against lazy subtle. So that is disclaimer. Okay. So they are telling you to be not part of the non-shaving community. And this is that very Rutuja Divekar, known weight loss experts and dietitian membership. You want to be one like her. Same is Baba Ramdev. You see that? Doctor is an opinion leader. Now that you are pregnant, doctor is advising have Horlicks. Or mother is an opinion leader. She also like उस जब सब तब जीतेगा जब मैं उसे जीतने दूंगी. And so something of that where they are showing everyday practice, and also anybody can be an opinion maker. Opinion maker can be from the real life, real doctor, or character. Only telling you, or some girl suddenly becomes daughter and she says, mother, father, you must use this, etc. A doctor recommended. So there are many times fixed teachers character put up as a influencer. So that way also opinion can be built up. So that's about the reference group. So we have finished that part. Now we want to understand market research, understanding consumer behavior. Are you with me? Right?
Yes.
So the first thing that you need to understand in marketing is all about the difference in these three terms: market research, marketing problem, research problem, and hypothesis. So what is it? I'll simple two example. Sale of cosmetic range decline for the third year. That's a marketing problem. You can't go to the research agency and say, "Okay, do a research. Why my sale has declined 3 years?" No, you will have to tell them specific. What are buying behavioral changes adversely affecting my sale? Or is my sale sensitive to the prices that I have increased in the last 2 years? Or have customer found substitute? So you have to be very specific what you want to investigate. That is research problem. And then hypothesis is your own gut feel about outcome that you expect. So I have said here what are buying behavioral changes adversely affecting the sale, and I am putting an hypothesis. Yes, there are buying behavioral changes due to which my sale is adversely affected. Hypotheses are generally, but in numerics also. The second example, whenever we increase the price, our product demand falls. That's a marketing problem. Can you go to research agency with the same thing? No, you have to tell them. I want you to check sensitivity to the price, or is my product demand is price elastic or price inelastic. So you have to clearly tell them what you want them to. Now you will put up an hypothesis, which is what you expect your outcome to be. My product is not price sensitive. People don't select my product due to price sensitivity. The reason is something else for the decline. So you have to get this perspective clear. Marketing problem has to be converted into research problem, and when you put the expected outcome on the research problem, that forms the hypothesis. So just to give you an example, I've taken this Lay's baked wafer. Marketing research is also quantitative research and qualitative research. I'm just going to give you first an idea. Now about this baked wafer, if you want to know, would the consumer buy healthier bag at 15 rupees? Normal one is 10 rupees, so 50% more. Does the consumer link the descriptor oven baked with the fresh and healthy? So in such case, when the high breadth is required of a probing, then it's a quantitative research. Findings will come in the quantitative term. You will have to ask questions also in a closed manner. Either answer yes or no, or answer oven baked. Do you understand? You don't understand? That's a consumer have no other choices. So if those kind of research, it is quantitative research. But you want to understand what is inside his mind. You want to articulate his psychographic. In that case, you can't go and ask him that just answer me this or that. No, you will have to allow him to talk. You will have to allow him to express. Then that's a qualitative research. The depth is required. You need to go the deeper to understand the consumer mindset. Then that's a qualitative. You want to understand the breadth. You want to answer in quantification terms. Then that's a quantitative research. Clear, friends? So the marketeers will have a two questions. I told you that earlier table: marketing problem, research problem, and hypothesis. So that is what I am now listing for the baked. Marketing problem was, will consumer accept this baked wafer? Will they pay more? That is 15 rupees. Will they pay more than the normal wafer? So I have articulated this marketing problem into a research problem. Find out whether consumers are liking it, not lining it. My apology. Find out how will they pay more. Find out acceptance and its sensitivity to the price. They may accept, but up to what price? Beyond which customer will say it is not worth it. So these are the three things I have told research agency to investigate. So that will become my research problem. Objective: why am I doing this research? Will this product be preferred snacks option of today's youth? Because it's a baked, it is not fried. What may be the hypothesis? Hypothesis I told you is your gut feel about the problem that you have raised. 70% of the consumer will accept this as a healthy choice. So this is my find out whether consumers are liking it and will they accept it as a healthy this thing. So I have said 70% will accept. Consumer will not pay more than 15%. So I will certainly not get 15 rupees. I can charge maximum 11.50, 12 rupees. Beyond which, so this is what I'm saying, my gut feel. Now, when the research report comes out, the hypotheses are either validated, means yes, you are right, 70 around 70% people, and you are right 15%, or they are negated. No, your assumption, gut feel that 70% of the consumer will accept has come not true. Only 40% have said that they will accept. And your assumption that people will pay 15%, no, this 40% that was accepted are willing to pay 30 and 40% more. So that way happens. It goes something like that. Okay. So just to give you a quick idea, this you have already studied, but just giving you an idea vis-a-vis one topic, is sex education necessary in this new age normal of overexposure? Qualitative research, quantitative research. What is qualitative research technique? Now, what has been mentioned here are the four techniques. In-depth interview. You will go to a parent and ask, do you think in today's era your child should get sex education in the school? Now, parent has to talk. You cannot tell them you will answer only between these three options. No, they are allowed to talk freely. That is an in-depth interview. Psychologist will then evaluate the answer. Focus group discussion. You will call 10, 12, 15 maximum parents in one room. There will be a moderator who will open the subject. Okay. And parents are allowed to talk among themselves. Argue for, argue other. Moderator role is to just see that discussion doesn't go haywire. They made to understand the sex education should be imparted or not, but they are discussing e-commerce world. No, you have to ensure that the discussion remains on sex education. Yes, no, yes, no. So he moderates that. Projective technique. Many times you would have got three pictures and you have been told to project the fourth picture. Or you are given one line, I love Scorpio. During Scorpio days, we launch that. I love Scorpio because. So when the completion happens, this used to be done by even Cadbury. I like Cadbury because. It's a projective technique. An observation technique. The customer is actually observed in the real scenario or an experimental scenario. Real scenario means in an actual retail shop. You may be talking to a salesman, but next to him who is standing may not be actual salesman. He is an observer who's observing you. You came, what did you ask? What was my guy when he showed you alternatives? What was your reaction? Which brand you inquired? Did you buy that inquired brand or no? You went back to your original brand. This kind of observation, when it is done and conclusion is arrived, is an observation technique. On the quantitative side, interviews. When you are meeting face to face and discussing the questionnaire, which has a simple MCQ type, alternatives given, from there the customer has to answer, respondent has to select. That's an interview, but face to face is important. Survey, impersonally done through telephone, through computer, through email, then it's a survey. So I am just revealing to you in-depth interview. I should have done this before. Focus group, teacher, parents, psychologists, and then you will discuss hidden aspects. What is bothering them? What are the barriers to change? Are they accepting? What are the cues on which they are willing to show acceptance? Interviews and survey, teacher, parents, you may even meet kids and all, and get their acceptance, rejection on sex education. Yes, straight questions are asked with options, and within that only they have to answer. So the question comes. You will ask me a question. So, sir, for every survey there has to be a qualitative and quantitative, or which is a better method? I will say there is nothing like it. Depending on your survey problem, research problem, and the hypothesis that has been set, you will come to know what needs to be found out. So whether you need, then you have to decide whether you want to go in the deep. So it's a qualitative research, or you want to explore more of the width, then that's a quantitative research. High breadth, high depth. So nothing is right or wrong. Many times both are done. Initially you are want to accept, will the pregnancy determination kit be successful? So initially you want to understand, you have to go deep. So you did a qualitative research. Then you did a clinic. You found that there is a good acceptance. Then you will got a full-fledged quantitative research, and you will may meet 20,000 ladies and ask them. So that's a quantitative. It may many times go like that. How do you conduct survey? 5 steps 5 steps to conduct successful survey to understand your consumer. Understand consumer. Identify your audience. So you should be very clear whom you want to meet. In research terminology, we call it a sample unit. You have to clearly know whom are you supposed to meet. If I am doing a survey about teenager clothing, I can't meet 40-year lady or 40-year boy male. No, you need to know whom are you meeting. So 25 to 35-year-old urban, uh, the household income above so and so, there are certain conditions, pre-qualifier it is known as. So that is why identify your target audience. So many surveys there are pre-qualifier. They often tell you we will ask you 2 3 questions and then we will decide you are right to answer or no. So that is known as a filtering question, pre-qualifier. Then comes design the survey. Here only thing is a questionnaire is written, but designing the survey is a complete. It should also decide qualitative or quantitative. Under qualitative whether in-depth focus group, under quantitative whether interview or survey. What is the technique? What is the sample? Size of the sample? How will that size be selected? Everything comes under designing of the survey. Which of the following is most modern, or assign a score from 1 to 10, whatever is a question. Here it is limited to question, but I am saying entire methodology comes under designing the survey. Then distribution of survey can be either offline or can be online, can be either in person or can be in absentia. So like for example, in hotel you go, then waiter at the end of the day when you are telling housekeeping, "Okay, why I am checking out," they will tell you, sir, here is a feedback form. Why don't you fill it up? So the or it is lying there. You have a choice to fill up or not. So it's a passive offline. You have a choice to fill it up and drop it in the box at the reception. So how the distribution is going to take place? How will you reach out to the respondent and how will you collect back? So getting the response, collecting back is a fourth stage. You will have to either incentivize to something you get. Like for example, I am a part of say Coleman. There's a research body international, and they've created their network of experienced professionals. And when they conduct a survey, we get something paid. So there are incentive. Or you are told you will get a synoptics of this report. Consumer changing consumer digital trends. So I am inclined. I want to know. So I will participate because I will get that. An analysis of the data. Finally, collected data is tabulated, collated, and analyzed. Regression analysis, correlation analysis, whatever analysis, and then inference will be done. Analysis means the table will show you data. From there, you will infer so much of many people are saying they are fully satisfied, not at all satisfied. So, what is an inference out of it? You will derive your inference, and then finally, you will conclude. So, these are the 5 steps of conducting the research. Here is one example, developing emotional engaging ads to build brand awareness. As you see that one yellow box is there, this is by the company onthebeach.co.uk. They release a new TV commercial to attract tourists. Okay. Now they wanted to understand how the latest campaign Lounge Lover was performing on TV. So they did the help of there is a Nelson Consumer Neuroscience is a Nelson is a very popular world leader in market research. So they were assigned and neuroscience. It's like to do with the qualitative research, neuroscience. So they conducted the research and you see the graph below on the right hand side. What finding they came out with? Till almost 70% of the time of your TVC consumers are well engaged, but they lost the meaning and therefore you lost them in the last 30 seconds. So realizing that they reworked the entire campaign with the agency and then they become successful. Okay. So that's what is the advantage of doing a research. There's another example. 2021 festive pulse. I might need 5 minutes more, slightly running behind because I have to do IES and all. So now see, this is changing consumer behavior. This is a quantitative research. Optimism is running high among consumers this festive season. This is just when the COVID in November was seems to be behind and Diwali was approaching. 3 in 5 are excited about upcoming festive season sale. 91% are planning a purchase. Online shopping is rising fast. 82% of the Indian shop online at least once per month. So nearly 1 in 4. Apparel and accessories. What is the two most preferred things? Okay, apparel and accessories. You see in the male, women, apparel and accessories, then followed by groceries. In the men, apparel and accessories still is number one, but then electronics, consumer electronics. So how prefer product category wise? Most consumers are brands, features, emerging reality of today's world. 53% are neutral or indifferent. 6 is 10 are interested in learning about new brands, so they are willing to switch. So this is what. So let's go to that methodology. So see, they've covered male, female as per the India's population ratio. Age group also is as per the India's population. They've covered 1,000 people, 1,01051. And then working status. They've given you what is the profile of those who responded. 49% are working full time, then part time, blah blah. So this also more or less collaborates with our population. So the finding is representative. You can say that this survey is not biased. Finding is representative because right sampling and right this thing is covered. Hi friends, moderator has put in the feedback link. Kindly do give the feedback. Okay, if you want to leave in early or while leaving, please at least help me with that. That's a sincere request. Moving on to the presentation. There are types of presentation, the types of market research, just exposing you to one, which is known as a profiling study. So earlier I told you in the buying behavior, there is always somebody initiator, somebody influences, somebody decides, somebody buys, and somebody uses it. Marketeer needs to profile their consumer. So then when you profile the consumers, you need to know who's buying for them, who's an influencer in that decision, who's a gatekeeper or decider, etc. Those details they should know, so that helps them to create the effective marketing communication. How do you profile? These are the details you need to ask about: age, education, occupation, blah blah. Right? Now you see that research has a very wide usage. I've given you now. This is that left hand side. What you see is that consumer buying decision process, need recognition. How do you do the need recognition? Factor analysis. There's a type of a research known as factor analysis. Unfortunately, we are not supposed to get in there. You also don't worry. Info search. Information, then you need to know the media buying habits, media behavior. Alternative evaluation, probably you can do the observational research. How does he go about? Purchase decision, their buying behavior. And post purchase, customer satisfaction. That customer satisfaction score are coming, you know. So that's an indicative. So that research will tell you how satisfied or unsatisfied customers with you. So there is a known as customer satisfaction index. Company do this year on year or periodically, and they see that their satisfaction index has improved or deteriorated. If deteriorated, which area they are hit hard. So they will look back. That is a culmination of which activity internally that is leading to poor customer satisfaction. They will try to rectify. So that's what customer satisfaction or service feedback. Actually, I wanted to discuss this. We can still, if ATM wants to understand, ATM wants to understand slowing down of wallet use among Indians. Neither their transaction numbers have grown nor the transaction numbers, transactions have improved. They want to understand perception towards such service. Visualize usage risk, if any, attitude towards the new age payment method, and reasons for their answer. What is the research problem? Anybody? You can talk, I think. I have given you the marketing problem. Slowing down of the wallet use among Indians.
Wallet use has slowed down.
Yeah, so what is the research problem? They will put it to the agency. What is the research problem?
So what is the number of users that were using it earlier, and now how many users are currently using wallet very frequently? So that is the thing that statistically they would want to know first hand.
So you will refine it. They want to understand preference towards or adverse perception towards use of wallet. Likewise, I'm just debating. You may be right also. I'm not saying that you are wrong. What type of research should they do? Qualitative, quantitative, and in that what? Qualitative, then whether in-depth observational focus group, what type, or the
It
quantitative?
should be a mix of qualitative and quantitative, I guess.
Never ever two survey can run parallelly. That much okay. If I have made you understand earlier differently, you can either do at any stage quali or a quanti. There may be a situation where you may have to start with quali and then go quanti. If I have to give you another real life example, I worked with a company called Avalon Research, and this was a story of 88, 89 when Anand Mahindra ji joined as a deputy managing director of Mahindra and Mahindra, and he was very dynamic and he wanted to beyond automotive take Mahindra to different business area diversification also era at that time. So various research were assigned. I did two research. One was ethylene oxide and second was the shared holiday resort concept. So I presented to him both the findings. The second one, the shared holiday resort concept, was done primarily through a secondary research and a qualitative research, just talking to some experts from the industry. But we told them that there is a positive this thing around that. Then he said to do a detailed survey. So then we did a quantitative survey. That's the birth of Club Mahindra. Okay. So what are some of the questions? So you it maybe depends on the what objective, what you want to learn, depth or the width. Okay. What are some of the questions? So I will straight away go there. I've given you my viewpoint. Okay. What is the research problem? To understand why individuals use less wallet, or to understand what is restricting people from using wallet, to understand what will encourage people to use wallet. So either way, that depends. Now, all the three might have a different research methodology. Hypothesis: 80% will say it is a risk, keeps money in to keep the wallet, money in the wallet. 70% will say it is complicated to use. 60% will say uh, that make it less complicated, so I will use. So this is a hypothesis to this research problem. For each I have given you. So that's how what type of research? Quali, quanti. So as I told you, there is no right answer. Depends on outcome, the depth and the breadth that you want to probe. What are some of the questions they can ask? Tell us occasions when you prefer to use wallet. Tell us why are you not using wallet in other occasions. Tell us what is preventing you from frequently using wallets. What will make the use of wallet option easy for you? So likewise, the questions are related to the research problem that you will specify and then you will try to pull out information. So that's a very, very snapshot overview of research as a consumer behavior understanding, science and the art. Okay, one salutation for you, but don't go away, please. I will be discussing IA. जिंदगी है तो ख्वाब है. दिस इज अ वेरी फेमस वन फ्रॉम जावेद अख्तर जी. ख्वाब है तो मंजिलें हैं, मंजिलें है तो फासले हैं, फासले है तो रास्ते हैं, रास्ते है तो मुश्किलें हैं, मुश्किल है तो हौसला है, हौसला है तो विश्वास है, क्योंकि फाइटर हमेशा जीतता है. आई कंसिडर ऑल ऑफ यू अ फाइटर पोस्ट कोविड. So salute to you. But coming to IA, I'm sure you have. How was the IA today? How do you feel? What is the perception? Now I am asking you. Yeah, yes, Satya. How was the IA?
It was good. Basically, it was. I was not expecting it totally descriptive. So it was only one question, and it was totally descriptive. So at first.
So all IAs are descriptive. So prepare accordingly.
Okay.
I have realized I have tried in last 3 cycles MCQ. but then discussion with students and all essentially, and I also know MCQ need a little more closer reading because I will pick up one of the word being missed out, as a fill in the blanks, and you will lose out if you have not done a right reading.
Yeah, I saw that example earlier.
So MCQ I found, so today I thought this time to be little liberal. Okay. So I'm just opening this so that if there's any doubts can be removed. Either of this question would have come to you because we give two options. One of them come to you in the randomization. This without explanation. Now this will be always there. Please be careful. I am not expecting any explanation. You all still try to give me an explanation. My expectation is nil. 6 steps of consumer decision making process. I told you just write need recognition, information search, whatever alternative evaluation. That's it. You don't have to even write a word to explain. 6 steps of consumer decision making process and explain the theory of one of the step, namely need recognition. I want you to explain need recognition completely. That's the meaning, including subpoints. So that is internal and external. Relate theory explanation with new age voice assisted product, namely Amazon, which is what I taught you today. Consumer buying process steps are need recognition, problem identification, information search, blah blah. Theory explanation of need recognition. So you have to say what is need recognition, that theory. And then subpoints is internal and external trigger. What is internal trigger? What is external trigger? And then taking this today's example of Amazon, you have to say exactly how that internal trigger happens, how that external trigger happens. So that makes the answer complete. If it is not so, you may lose some marks. Second question. First, list without explanation 4 different types of reference groups and later give theory explanation for a aspirational group. Relate theory explanation with new face glow cream. Now you will have this constant till term end. Relate means what? Overall, even UGC says the management student questions and answer are expected to have a relativeness to the theory.
Right.
So when you write any theory point, here is a product that has been given to you. You have to then relate it. Now that's where many students either miss out or do unwarranted tricks. They start saying that I will do following for this, but they still reproduce theory. They may think that I do not read. When they culminate also, conclude, as above explain the relative, this thing part of this theory, I will, Hare Baba, I have read your written text. It is only theory. Where have you related? Market. So you have to relate what you write in theory to the given product or the service. And it's not that you require to know what is face glow cream. All products or service I have taken is also very simple one. 4 reference groups are contractual, aspirational, disclaimant and avoidance. Student is supposed to explain. This only 4 are to be written. Then explain aspirational group. So define aspirational group. Okay. Person desires to be associated. Consumer starts following each such person as an aspirational role model and therefore tends to adopt to his lifestyle and choices have more weightage in his consumer decision. People write aspiration, the one whom you want to follow, this, that, but they don't write this consumer decision part. The influence of that, I am not wanting to know what is aspirational group, but you leave your answer at explaining what is aspirational group. Aspirational group, when its relativity in the consumer decision making has to come out and then relate this. So Dhoni, Virat Kohli for the face glow cream. You can say Sachin Karting, whatever you can say that he gives. This is how it is related. Today's youth aspire to be one like him. So Sachin conveying that this is a fresh wash that he uses. That's what is the relativity. Clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I will give you some hint. Therefore, I have just disconnected the share. Though I'm not supposed to upfront this thing, but you will have IA2 now, right? You will be facing IA2, right?
Correct, sir.
Which is async 3. So that is more going into that second level of STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning, etc. Okay, we will study this after you appear for exam. Okay, and then it is covering 3 P's, not 4. I told you declare even in my session outlet that promotion I am taking it to the next session. So all IAs are covered accordingly. So for your syllabus of coming exam is STP and 3P, product, place, price. Okay.
Place price.
Promotion is not covered. Right? Now you look at the irony of that this thing where STP is only there and this out of this 3, place, product and price, I have to ask you. So there is one question definitely on STP, and there also I feel between the 3, positioning is such a deeper subject. I can never explain you briefly very well. Segmentation is very static cliche, and every word will blindly write. Geographic segmentation, demographic. So probably you should understand segmentation, targeting better, and briefly understand the other 3: product, price, and place strategy. Okay, that will be your next IA, right? Any doubts, queries? How's the session today? Do give the online feedback, friends.
Yes, sir. Just writing that.
Please do that. And if I have to ask you, what will you tell today's session? Comprehensible, not comprehensible, bumper gaya, too lengthy, too this thing. How do you define today's session?
Where it was good, most of the things were made understood using examples. So I think that was good.
Okay.
Because unless and until, so theory is one thing, but unless and until we connect it with some practical example, we do not get most of the things from marketing, I guess.
Right.
So
right.
it is going good, I guess.
That's an effort that has been made consciously. Yeah, thanks. Anybody else? Harshita, Ananda? People have started dropping also. I hope they've given a feedback.
It was good, sir.
Oh, great. Thank you. What did you like most?
Like the examples mainly, because that's how we understand better.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That effort is very much there. I'm sure the subsequent sessions also are like that. Okay. So now we meet tomorrow, 10:30 to 1. Okay. And remember, the last session is on Friday, 7 to 9:30. That is 24th.
Okay.
Right? It's not on Saturday. So see you, friends. Hope you have filled in the feedback form. Looking forward to join you tomorrow 10:30. Right?
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Stay safe, stay sound,
You
take rest. Tomorrow is Sunday. I don't know if you can take rest, but okay.
Good night.
Don't spend time with self. That's what I have learned very costly manner, very late. Thank you.